Right. Hi guys. I'm just gonna go over this review packet page by page. So while you're trying to do these problems, it might be helpful to have your Math is Fun sheet in front of you. That just has, your facts about all the different shapes filled in. Could be helpful to have your trapezoid and kite notes out, and your summary of parallelograms with those 5 fun facts. Just have those in front of you as some reminders, unless you have that all memorized already, of course, then you don't need it in front of you. Now these problems take the problems we've been doing in this unit kind of to like the next level. If you look at the instructions, it says for each figure, fill in all possible information. So those instructions make the problems just a little bit harder because it's not like hey, solve for X and solve for Y, and then you do that and you're done. It's like you kind of have to know what information you can know. You know what I'm saying? Alright, so I'm going to go through page number 1, which is working with parallelograms. So, we know in parallelograms that opposite sides are congruent. So this is 9 and this is 12. We know opposite angles are congruent. So this is 65 degrees. We also know that consecutive angles are supplementary. So if I take 180 degrees and I subtract 65, I'm going to get 115. Oops, 115. There we go. I filled in all the possible information. Number 2. Alright, so this is a parallelogram with the diagonals drawn in. I know that diagonals bisect each other in a parallelogram. So, this is 5, this length here, and this is 8. Okay. I know that I have alternate interior angles, if you remember, like parallel lines, and then the transversal. If you make the Z, remember our proofs chapter, this angle right here is alternate interior to this guy. So those are congruent. Okay? Now, where these diagonals intersect, I have vertical angles, which that is not necessarily from the parallelograms, but just vertical angles, and they're congruent. So this is 92 degrees, and I know this is a linear pair, and they add up to 180, so 180 minus 92 gives me 88 degrees, and this is also 88 degrees, because they're vertical angles. Now, there's one more thing we can fill in here in this diagram. I have a triangle. These 3 angles add up to 180 degrees, so if I subtract 42 and 92 from 180, I get 46 degrees, and that also transfers over here because they're alternate interior angles. Now that's all that we can fill in. We don't know how long the sides are. I don't know what the measure of these angles are, so I am finished with number 2. Okay, number 3. I know this is 18. Oh, sorry. I know this is 11. I know that, let's see, I know that this is 45 degrees, alternate interior angles. I know this is 35 degrees, alternate interior angles. Do we know anything else? I think that's it. Okay, on to number 4. Alright, let's fill in the easy stuff first. 6. I know this is 12. I know this is 7. I know this is 30 degrees. These are all things we've already talked about, so I'm just filling them in. Because this whole angle is 95, I know this whole angle is 95. So that means this has to be 75 degrees. Now I have a 20 degree angle and a 30 degree angle. So these 3 angles have to add up to 180, making this 130. And this is 130. Now I know that this is 50 degrees and this is 50 degrees. Again, vertical angles here, linear pair here, another vertical angle pair. Now I have the 3 angles of a triangle, so that makes this 55 degrees. means this is 55 degrees. All right. I think we've nailed that one. We got everything that we could know. All right. Let's move on to number 5. Okay, so number 5, now we have to draw our own picture. All right. So it's a parallelogram. So I'm just going to draw a generic parallelogram. You guys remember how good I am at drawing straight lines? Nailed it. Now it's parallelogram easy. So it doesn't matter where you start with the E, but your letters have to go in order. So E, A, S, Y. Okay. Again, that's pretty important because if you would go E, A, Y, S or something, mess up the order, then you would fill in your information correctly. Obviously, your picture wouldn't be accurate. So it says diagonal ES is drawn in. So if I just connect those two corners, that gives me that diagonal. So the measure of angle AES is 40 degrees. That goes there. And measure of angle Y is 110, so 110 goes there. It says find the measures of all the missing angles. Okay, well, I know this is 110 degrees. I know that angle S has to be 70 degrees total because these add up to 180. So that makes this angle right here 30 degrees. If I do 70 minus 40, that leaves me with 30 because those would also both add up to 70. So there's all my missing angles. All right. And the very last problem here. It says help is a parallelogram. Find the values of x and y. Now this was a little bit easier because it did just, told you to solve for x and y. So once we have x and y, we are done. Okay. Whew, how do we get x and y? Oh, this is a tricky little bugger. Okay, well, first of all, I know this is 42 because alternate interior angles. And I know this is 50 alternate interior angles. Okay, now I know these three angles will add up to 180. So this angle right here, does that one, is 62 degrees. Okay. So if I have this angle here of angle P, that's going to be 42 plus 42 plus 50, which is 92. So that tells me this whole angle L has to be 88 degrees because they have to add up to 180. So that makes this 26 degrees, meaning that X is also 26 degrees. Okay. Now there is a different way you could have gone about this. Like I know these are vertical angles, so that would be 68. And then we have a linear pair, so this is 112 and this is 112. And then once you had that angle and this one filled in, they have to add up to 180. So a couple different ways you could get your information there. But there it is. There's your problems explained on parallelograms. Thanks for watching.